Hello, I'm the Resolute Cartographer, and this is the 5th video in my series on the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. In the last video, Quarian, Tali, Zora, and Naraya joined our team, we became a Spectre, and we began the hunt for the rogue Spectre Saren on board our new ship, the SSV Normandy. In this video we're going to chat with our new crew, and then we're going to inspect the worlds of the Argos Rho Cluster. Alright, let's get started with Navigator Presley.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, sir, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Nihilus was on our team. Are you talking about Saren? I don't know.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
This is bigger than humanity. Saren's a threat to every species in the galaxy, and I'll welcome anyone who wants to help me bring him down.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Now we're gonna go check in with Joker. Yeah, the Elysian Blitz is, sorry, the Skillian Blitz on Elysium was actually a very interesting thing. We're gonna learn a bit about more about that later.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Wrex syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
I need to know more about this Wrex syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
I have to go.
All right, see you.
I love how awkward that kind of ending is. Let's talk about something else. I gotta go. Alright, we're done up here on the bridge. Let's head downstairs. We can talk to Dr. Chakwas and to Caden. Along with that, we can take a quick look at our quarters now that there are quarters and no longer Captain Anderson's quarters. It's very dark in here.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
We've actually talked to her about all this.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Seriously, you'd think that a medical area would be better lit. Anyway, we can talk to Caden at least.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Alright, I guess that's it.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
So, by the way, I also did look up Wrex disease, Joker's issue. It's osteogenesis imperfecta, and yeah, it's a real thing. Let's see, personnel manual. Okay, just adds a codex entry. I really thought that you had email in this one, but I guess you don't have email until Mass Effect 2. Anyway, we can take a look at Shepard's locker. I think, okay, got a couple guns there. I'm not sure what that was all about. Anyway, we can head up here, and we can see sleeper pods. I'm also not entirely sure what this is, because if you can travel faster than light, how often do you really need sleeper pods? Anyway, though, we're down here on this deck, so let's head downstairs into the cargo bay. Alright, we can check with the Alliance Requisitions Officer.
Looking for supplies?
See what he has that's new.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
We've got multiple licenses now. Let's see. Anything... Okay, Alanis Risk Control, I think that we actually just got that license. And Aldrin Labs, I know that we just got that. I think we had the Hannah Kedar one. And the Elkos Combine, I think we also just got that one. The thing is, I can't really afford almost anything yet. And while I do have plenty of stuff to sell, I still am missing one member of our crew, so I'm not going to sell anything just yet. Can I sell all junk? What does that do? I don't know what that did. I still have the same amount of credits, so I don't know what that was, but anyway, we can talk to Garrus.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Just do a good job and don't get in my way. We'll get along fine.
Don't worry, Commander. I'll keep clear.
Now, really, I like the upper right version of that answer. Like, I would typically answer that, like, basically, don't do what Saren did and blow up an entire refinery to get the job done. But he kind of treats Garrus like Saren is about, where he's just done to blow up a refinery to get the job done. When all Garrus seems to be saying to me is that he wants to get jobs done without as much paperwork involved. We got Ashley here. We can talk to her.
Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit?
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Sir.
Alright, let's talk to Wrex.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Wrex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogan lived for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Sorry, Wrex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
He says there are no Krogan scientists, but you have to consider the fact that they'd managed to destroy themselves with nuclear weapons. Now, you kind of have to have scientists to make nuclear weapons. Anyway, let's talk to Engineer Adams.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation, too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare.
Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So you note there that he talked about the only way you could really see the Normandy when it's in stealth is by looking out a window. Now you may have noticed the Normandy doesn't really have any windows. I think there are a couple in the cockpit, but other than that, that's it. And that's because in the first Mass Effect, they designed ships with like actual realism in mind in terms of no windows because you can't see anything anyway, and windows are themselves a point of vulnerability. So anyway, let's go talk to Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
You have to have at least 2 births to just have a stable, and that's assuming like you don't have people dying before they get to the point of having their own children. So really 2.1 is the fertility rate of stability. So it's weird that they have a one-child policy.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the conclave 4 times.
Alright, I guess that's it.
I should go.
See you later.
So, they seem to have plans to eventually retake their homeworld of Rannoch. The problem is that they've only got 17 million Quarians, and they don't seem to be getting any more. And along with that, the Geth can continue to produce more. I don't understand why the Quarians don't settle down somewhere and build a colony. You know, it's a little strange. Okay. I mean, it's been hundreds of years now. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Argos Rho Cluster, and specifically the Hydra system. Okay. Alright, and so we've got a, what is this, 5-planet system. So we got Varmalis as the first planet. Varmalis has a thick atmosphere of nitrogen and helium. Its surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of alumina with deposits of borax. The planet has an extensive network of subterranean caves formed over the millennia by volcanic processes. In these relatively cool areas, some primitive life has developed. So, if you look at this thing, you can get some of the basic statistics about it. You can see here that it has, basically it's got like, it's almost 50% larger than the Earth in terms of the radius here, and yet it has only 1.2 Gs. So the fact that it has so much more mass and very little more gravity means that it's a very low density planet. It is very hot though, at 503 degrees Celsius. So anyway. Okay. And Metgos, that's where we're going to land, so let's look at the next one. Thayar. It's a gas giant. Thayar is a large gas giant with traces of chlorine and sodium in its atmosphere. It also has a significant amount of water vapor in the clouds of the upper atmosphere. Thayar was struck by an asteroid at least 12 kilometers in diameter within the last 100 years. The superheating caused by the impactor's atmospheric passage created a large bank of vicious clouds along the equatorial band. Okay. Interesting looking world there. Next up, we have Canrum. Canrum is a small, rocky world with a trace atmosphere of methane and krypton. Its surface is mainly composed of magnesium and silicates with deposits of carbon. Canrum was the site of the warlord Shayagar's defeat by the Turian peacekeeper forces during the Krogan rebellions. While this band was not especially powerful, Shayagar was a female warlord, and one of the few remaining fertile females at that. She had, through viciousness and cunning, parlayed her unique value into a position of power. Krogan males competed for the right to join her band and lie with her. When Shayagar's death was announced, vengeful male Krogan admirers near and far swore blood oaths against the participating Turian crews. In the end, several thousand of the Turian participants were killed in open combat or through assassination. To this day, many Krogan proudly proclaim that they have the blood of Shayagar. Okay, and it's a very cold world. We can survey it though, and we can find a Turian insignia. Scans of the planet Canrum reveal dangerous levels of radiation coming from orbit. Chief Engineer Adams conducted further scans and discovered the remains of an ancient warhead marked with the Parthia colony insignia. And lastly out here, Seba. Seba is a standard Neptune-type gas giant. The upper cloud decks of its hydrogen-helium atmosphere tinted a dramatic blue by traces of methane. We can survey it and find a gas deposit of helium-3. Okay. Let's go back to Metgos.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
General distress call. Sacred Angel medical transport. Critical system failure. Losing power. Emergency landing. Argos. Communications failing. Life support and emergency transponder. Won't last. Please hurry.
Alright, warning, level 2 heat hazard. Medcos is a large terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Its hot surface is mainly composed of nickel with deposits of potassium and heavy metals. It is a mineralogical treasure trove with concentrated heavy elements constantly being brought to the surface by volcanic activity. Medcos is inhospitable and dangerous, and expeditions must be well prepared to survive any length of time. With its high mass, heat-trapping clouds, and constant volcanic venting, Medcos seems well on its way to becoming a Venusian pressure cooker world. Okay, and you see here it has the same atmospheric pressure as Earth, just about the same gravity as Earth. It's got a slightly larger radius, which is strange because they talk about how this thing has a lot of heavy elements, which means this thing must actually be just about the same as Earth in terms of its composition, so that's interesting. I mean, not exactly, but in terms of mass, the mass of the matter. Anyway, let's land here. Okay, it doesn't really matter who we bring on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring, let's say, I got a lot of tech strength, so let's bring Wrex and Caden or Ashley. Let's go with Ashley. Alright, now we are in the Mako here. We've got guns, rockets, and the ability to jump, and to boost. And along with that we can just drive around. Alright, let's take a look at the map. Now you can see that there are some things on here already, anomaly, transponder signal, and debris. But along with that there are other things that are hidden as well. So I'm going to go to these things, show you what's there, and then this is the last thing we're going to do here, the transponder signal. I'm not going to show you the drive in between, because it's a long drive. Okay, here we go. Now you can see that level 2 hazard thing ticking up there. You're going to see the ground kind of glowing red. But we've got a Turian corpse here, and let's recover it. There we go, Turian insignia recovered. While searching the wreckage, you found a very old letter stamped with the Gothis colony insignia. Unfortunately, the text is indecipherable. Okay, we got some credits, some experience, and if we take a look at the map, it's now marked as an X. Okay, let's head on over to this debris.
Heading out.
Okay, here we go. Crashed probe, it looks like. Yep, salvage it. There we go, got a weapon upgrade and an armor upgrade. Alright, let's get back on board the Mako before we cook. And we are now going to be heading off to something that you can't see on the map, which is right down over here. And I'll bring you back when we get there. Alright, we found a mercury deposit. Now again, this was not on the map. Survey it. There we go, heavy metal surveyed. We have successfully surveyed a large deposit of mercury. Let's get it back on board. Taking a look at the map now, it shows up. So that's the case. You're going to find that there are some things that just do not show up on the map. In fact, there's another deposit over here that we're going to go get right now. Alright. Thorium deposit. Same as before. Gotta put that back. And survey. Rare element surveyed. We have successfully surveyed a large deposit of thorium. Okay. And let's get back in the vehicle and you take a look at the map. Again, this was not here before. Let's head right over here to the transponder signal. Alright, so this was coming from that distress signal.
Careful, Shepard. I've got up there. Yeah, it's a trap!
They got a hit in, but we're gonna get the rest of them. Okay. We got them all. Now if we try to get close to this thing, maybe see if it's got anything in it. It just blows up. Alright. There we go. We're done on Metgos, so let's get back to the Normandy. Alright, we are now done in the Hydra system, but that is not the only system in the Argos Rho Cluster. We still have to go on over to the Phoenix system. Right here. Travel to another system, yes. Okay, so we've got a 4-planet system here. We'll start out with Patashi. Patashi is a sun-blasted terrestrial world whose atmosphere was blasted away millennia ago by the star Phoenix. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of iron with deposits of tin. Due to its relatively light density, Patashi is tidally locked to Phoenix. Seas of molten light metal cover much of the sunward side. And look at that. 546 degrees Celsius and 0 Earth atmospheres. Wow, okay. Let's survey it. And we found the rare element of samarium. Okay. Let's see. Next planet is Silsalto, I guess. I don't know. Silsalto is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. It has no remarkable features. Alright. And the next one is this one right here, Tuntao, but that's where we're going to land. So, unknown. Carbonaceous asteroid, okay. This asteroid is emitting a weak, intermittent signal at a frequency of 1540 megahertz, with a radius of 71 kilometers. That's a pretty big asteroid. Prothean data disk recovered. During the scan of the Phoenix system asteroid field, you detected an odd energy signature that Tali determined was Quarian in nature. She led a recon team into the asteroid field, where she discovered an abandoned freighter. The team could not discover why the ship was there, but they did find a Prothean data disk on board. Okay. And out here we have the planet Vibonok. Vibonok is a small terrestrial world with a thin atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of carbonaceous material, water ice, and low-density silicates. Rare but concentrated loads of light metal have been deposited by asteroid impacts. One hemisphere of Vibonok is covered by surface deposits of oxidized copper. Approximately 270 years ago, a Turian bulk gas transport was attacked by pirates in the Phoenix system. Damaged, it made a rough landing on Vibonok. The heat of the landing melted significant quantities of surface ice, and ruptured shipping containers spilled liquid oxygen across the surface. Before this evaporated and escaped Vibonok's weak gravity, it reacted to cause the widespread rust. Let's survey it. And we find cobalt. It talks about copper, but okay. It also said just deposits left by asteroids. And Tuntao. Tuntao is an enormous, low-density terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere of methane and helium. Despite being nearly 20 AU from Phoenix, the star's great heat and insulating thickness of the atmosphere make the surface surprisingly temperate. The crust is mainly composed of sodium and silicon dioxide with deposits of various light metals. While Tuntao is not habitable, the relative pleasantness of the surface conditions make it a popular location for small ships traveling through the Argos Rho Cluster to land for drive discharge. And if you take a look at this, it's actually got a surface temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, which the average temperature of Earth is lower than that. Anyway, let's land. Alright, now, in this case, we are going to have to take Wrex with us regardless. I mean, I would take him anyway. I'm also going to take Ashley again. I'm looking forward to when to get Liara, because I'm pure tech, she's pure biotic, Ashley's pure combat, so that's pretty much going to be my go-to team, unless I have a reason to take the other people. Wrex has a mission here, so you've got to take him with you if you want to do that mission right. So yeah, you have no reason to know that Wrex has a mission here. Just know that it is down here at the hidden structure. Basically, the longer in the game, he'll eventually tell you about why he needs to go here, or you can just bring him with you when you go here, and he'll tell you then. But first, we are actually going to head up here to this anomaly. So, let's head up this way across what looks like a salt lake. And there's our target across this glittering terrain here. You can see some sort of vehicle here, and what's showing up is an Asari capsule. Looks like there's maybe a couple of bodies as well. Okay, let's see. And this looks like one of those vehicles you use for the Citadel Rapid Transit. Anyway, let's recover the Asari capsule. Matriarch's writings recovered. You found one of Matriarch Dillanaga's writings on his body. It's possible the writings came from the nearby ruin. Interesting. Some sort of pyramid. Let's check that thing out with the Mako. I wonder what this pyramid's doing out here. Looks like it's covered in nice green vines, which makes me think that this is something, just a model that they used on Ilos, which we'll see much later in the game. Just dropped it in here in this world. Anyway, let's see. We are now going to be heading off over this way, and I'll bring you back when we get there. All right. We got another mercury deposit. Heavy metal and mercury. Okay. Taking a look at the map again, we are now going to be heading over here to the debris. Okay, let's check this thing out. Crashed probe, let's salvage it. Oh, electronics skill too low. Let's take a look. Because I do have some points I could probably put into electronics, but not enough, I would bet. I bet we have to have master for that. Okay. Well, we can always try again later. And I will make sure to remember this thing when we have master electronics. Back in the Mako, and we are now going to be heading over here. Okay. Alright, we got a lithium deposit here. Survey this. Light metal of lithium. Okay. Getting back on board. Taking a look at the map. We are now done with all these little side things here. Let's get down to the hidden structure. Alright. That's why you don't pick fights at the Mako. Okay. Let's get in here. Alright.
I know who runs this place.
Have you been here before?
No, but I was planning to come here before you and I met. This place belongs to a Turian scum named Ton Actus. It's a long story, but he's got something that belongs to me.
Well, what is it?
Family armor. It's been with us for over 5 generations. Turian military took it from my father's father after the war. Somehow this ass wound up with it. I want it back.
We'll get it back. Now let's move.
Right behind you.
Okay. Now these guys are actually somewhat high level compared to Shepard at this point. And we don't want to get ourselves surrounded here, so we got to kind of move slowly and carefully here. Especially given that I'm playing as an engineer and I'm using a rifle. In fact, why don't I try using a pistol for a minute here? Because I do have marksman for the pistol as well. Oop. No. Fine. Here we go.
Some action.
I'm backing up a little bit here. There. Let's use marksman. There we go, we got Ton Actus. Where are the rest of them? I can see 5 more signatures on the radar. Just disabled his gun. Okay, you know what? I'm pulling out my other gun. Does way more damage. Again, these guys are definitely higher level, though. Damn, I blew that too quickly. Took out his shield and then shot him. There goes a sniper. Got 3 more enemies in here. Come on, where are you? I knew that was going to overheat, but I also knew it would kill him. Okay. Where's that other guy that was down here?
Enemy is everywhere! Go, go, go!
Come on. His health bar just went white because he used the power immunity, which is a soldier power. Actually, we'll have that before too long. Ugh, let's see. Had to speed that along a little bit. Ooh, nearly got me. Where is this sniper? I hear him. Is he upstairs? Must be. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We can go this way at the very least. Either he's upstairs or he's not, but this is the way up there, so we can check at least. Oh. Got him. Oh, okay. That's everyone that was here.
All targets down.
Let's check up here. See what loot we can find here. Okay, technician kit. Got armor upgrade and a weapon upgrade. Upgrade kit with ammo upgrades. Medical kit. Oop. Upgrade kit with ammo upgrades. Wetware kit with a couple of biotic amps. That's neat. And we got a wall safe with easy decryption. Let's start that. There we go. A couple of weapon upgrades.
This is it.
And his armor.
I can't believe my ancestors ever wore this piece of crap, but at least I've got it back.
I'm glad we could help you get it back.
I might just be starting to like you, Shepard.
Wrex touches his grandfather's armor. His expression, thoughtful perhaps? The Krogan are hard to read. Then he shakes off his bemusement and grips his gun with renewed purpose. Time to move on. Okay, well, we're not leaving here just yet, because there's one more thing to see downstairs. Well, another room to see downstairs, I should say. But yeah, that actually is a big thing. Without doing this for Wrex, he gets harder to manage on the planet Vermeer in the future. Anyway, we got this room back here that we can check out. Another medical kit. A crate. With a shotgun and a sniper rifle. A hardened crate with decryption skill too low. Well, I was hoping to use those points in electronics so we go back and hack that probe, but I'll put it in here so that we don't have to come back in here. And now we can decrypt it. There we go. Some medium armor, a sniper rifle, and an assault rifle. Okay. Alright, well, we are now done here, so let's head back out. And let's get back up to the Normandy. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this video. We got to talk to the crew some. We learned more about the Quarians. We learned about the Navigator Presley and Engineer Adams and Joker up there at the front. And we also finished up the Argos Rho Cluster, at least for now, until the Gorgon system shows up. Next time we're going to go after another system. Probably after the next video we're going to go after Liara Tassoni. I just wanted to make sure that we got enough skill levels before we go after them. Because otherwise there's this Krogan Battlemaster near Liara that just is going to kick our ass. So, this has been the Irresolute Cartographer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.